What's up everybody, I'm Derek, this is Rocking eForge, and today I am getting into another last minute gift for those friends and family in your life who like something a little rustic. And today I'm going to be forging a shoehorn. So, let's get rocking. Alright, so for this project I'm starting with about 2.5 feet of 1/2 inch square stock. What I'm going to do is just heat up the first 8 inches or so, and I'm going to grab my guillotine tool and actually just put in a couple of fuller marks to kind of delineate where the paddle of the shoehorn is, the horn, question mark, of the shoehorn is going to be. Do a second one here. All right, so now that I've got that kind of knocked in, all of this portion is going to become the horn or the paddle of the actual shoehorn. But before I actually start to work on that, I'm going to draw out the central portion of the handle, kind of between the horn and the handle proper, and skinny that down so it's not quite so heavy. All right, so I'm trying to bring this portion, this kind of central portion, down to about 1/4 inch. It doesn't need to be thick or heavy. I've got it at about just inside 3/8 inch. So I got a little ways to go. I'm doing the bulk of the heavy forging right now. I'm gonna refine that once I've got the length of this actually drawn out to where I want it. Notably, I've been using the horn of the anvil to forge on this because it does a really good job at drawing out a length of stock, better than if you were using the flat face of the anvil and the flat face of your hammer. I'm using the rounding face of my rounding hammer and the curved face of the horn to effectively act like a double fuller that forces material to spread lengthwise more than it does in 360 degrees like a flat-faced blow does. And that makes for pretty quick work in drawing out long pieces of steel like this, which is why I've done the bulk of the forging on the horn as opposed to on the flat face. And once I've got the handle drawn down to about 1/4 inch square, I'm just going to put in some fullers just to mirror the other end up here at the actual handle point, or at the transition to the actual handle itself. All right, so now I'm going to cut this off about 6 inches off that stock, turn it around. I'm going to start working on the handle, and first thing we're going to do is forge in a little loop at the end, and then we'll move on from there. I quenched the scroll. And that's so that I was able to strike on the actual previous scroll and then bend this around to that little loop. And while I've still got a little bit of heat in the handle, I'm going to start knocking those corners off. And I'm going to chamfer those all the way down the ends, and then I'm going to bring this back next heat, or the next couple of heats, and chisel a channel down the center of every side and make this into a nice split twist. I'm using my stump and half an old axe handle to straighten this out so that I don't mess up the twist, the edges of the twist, with my actual metal hammer on the anvil. Now I really should have done this before I twisted it, but I'm going to go ahead and put my touch mark in here before I get too much further. All right, so now that I've got the handle all worked out, I'm going to go back to refining the stretch between the handle and the actual what's going to be the paddle. I might put a lazy singular twist down the full length of this portion, but I'm going to do a little more refinement. I've noticed some spots that are a little bulged out and not quite uniform, so I'm going to work all those out, and then I'm going to go ahead and chamfer all these edges like I have everywhere else. All right, and the next thing I'm going to do is just start to flatten out this paddle, and I'm making sure I'm in line with my my hook here. Nope, I want to be 90 degrees off from that. And the reason I decided I wanted to be 90 degrees off, I was going to do it in this plane, and then I decided I wanted to do it this way so it can be hung on a hook sideways and allow the paddle itself to be in line, just lying against a wall. And I've got this forged out to about 1/16 of an inch. I'm going to take it to the grinder and just kind of grind off the extra little lumps and stuff that that kind of resulted from kind of some errant hammer blows and stuff like that. Then I'm going to radius this in this plane so that it cups in and can fit around your heel comfortably when you're sliding your foot into your boot or your shoe. And this would be a great time to use a swedge if you've got one. All right, so now that I've got this kind of dished, so to speak, I'm going to grind out the inside to make it nice and smooth using my belt grinder. And if you don't have a belt grinder, don't worry about it. You can absolutely hand sand this. Just keep in mind, you might need to take another day to get down to where you actually want it going up in grits. All right, so I toss this back in the forge a little bit just to heat up enough that I can brush off the extra loose forge scale here. And you'll notice I left this kind of real light bend here in the handle. That's because I've tested it and I actually like the slight curve to it. It makes it so that you're not quite directly in line with your own leg trying to pull your boot on. And while it's still hot, we're going to use the classic beeswax coating to seal and blacken the steel, prevent rust, and have a little fun with some fire. And that is going to do it for today's video. If you enjoyed this video, please drop a like, leave a comment, hit subscribe, ring that notification bell. If you want to support me in the channel further, please consider becoming an honorary striker on my Patreon. That link is in the description below the video, or please consider becoming a member on my YouTube channel. And as always, keep on rocking. One go, no traffic. Incredible.